Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sport here on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. Though the energy was supposed to be higher than this, but you all know what happened last night, and the energy is still high, but not as high as expected, because it's a game of football. Anything can happen and anything goes. But on the lighter note, we saw actions coming back in the second stanza of the Nigerian Professional Football League for both male and female. And something interesting also happened as the Athletic Federation of Nigeria bans 21 athletes, coaches over age fraud, which is something that the chairmanship of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria is very particular about, and cutting down all this age fraud that keeps happening, and then that damper the image of Nigerian athletes when they travel for international competition. We'll be having so much conversation on today's edition of Talk Sport, and I am not going to be doing all of those talking alone. I have my DM right here who is sitting in the number 4 position that would help do most of the major talking of today's edition. Good morning, Aniche Patrick. Thank you for joining us today so we can cry our cry together.
When you said that number 4, my mind just went straight to one of the players, and let me not talk about it. But it's good having some journalists on Talk Sport. Yes, it doesn't matter what played down last night, but the truth is we're excited as Nigerians, not minding what we're expecting. We had high hopes, we had high expectations that we're going to come out strong. This was like the final to the final,
yes.
And Nigerians were hopeful. I saw the energy for Nigerians from the city, from the FCC here, where people rushed home, because of the excitement. That's to tell you the passion, the compassion that they had for Super Eagles, because they have actually made Nigerians proud. And yes, a lot of hopes were dashed yesterday, but kudos to Super Eagles. You guys did amazingly well. Yes, it is a game of football. We either win or lose, but that's it. And that's the reason why we're here. And we're still going to talk to you about all the things happening in the world of sports. So stay with us.
Yes, we'll be having so much to talk about today in the world of sport, and we'll be starting from the Athletic Federation of Nigeria as they ban 21 athletes, coaches over age fraud. The Athletic Federation of Nigeria imposed wide-ranging sanctions on athletes, coaches, and 2 states athletes association following the conclusion of a special investigation into age falsification involving competitors at the 2025 African Under-18 and Under-20 Championship held in Abeokuta. The panel came together December 9, 2025, and it was set up to examine the allegation of age discrepancy among young Nigerian athletes flagged by Athletes Integrity Unit of the World Athletes on the 2nd of December 2025. It was chaired by the AFN Vice President Abubakar Gurmi, with Musa Amadu, Olumide Oyedeji, Dele Edokoya, and Bora Ikena serving as members. The community submitted its findings ahead of the January 16th deadline issued by the AIU. In a memorandum titled Recommendation of Sanctions and Rapid for Athletes, Coaches, Administrators, and States Involved in the AIU Age Cheating Inquiries, addressed to the AFN president and executive board of the committee, stated that several athletes had registered and competed with multiple dates of birth without any legitimate explanation. So, Annie, looking at this now, this is a conversation we've had. It's like an African thing, not just a Nigerian thing. In the previous African Cup of All Nations, we saw a Cameroonian who was way, way older than the age he proclaimed to say he was, because he was looking very, very small. And then this is something that has been, dampering the development of sports. So, with this reaction now and seeing these people being sanctioned now, what does that make you? How does that make you feel in terms of having the house in order?
Well, for me, I see this as a welcome development. If we want to get something right, we need to fix it and have the attitude towards it. And look at the memorandum titled Recommendations of Sanctions and Reprimands for Athletes, Coaches, and states involved in the AIU age cheating. There's one thing I always tell people: once you want something, do it right. There's nothing wrong in doing the right thing at the right time. You can't keep bringing a wrong age and telling people this is the right age that you are, and then till will end. Like I always tell people, like I was brought up, is a good name is better than silver or gold. Yes, there's a rush for wealth creation and wanting to stand tall and wanting to be in stardom, but in stardom, stand with the right attitude, because you're also giving back to people who also want to live up to you. So let's get this right. And I like the fact that this has come to play, and the sanctions that has gone out for these athletes will also set them to standard, to also give them the mindset that you can't get away with cheats or the wrong perception and represent a nation at the international level with a wrong perception. So this is kudos to the Athletics Federation, kudos to AIU on all of this age cheating, so that strengths can match for strengths. You don't have people who are different age grades coming to stand up and then at the end of the day pick up what is not theirs because of cheating. So for me, Sam, this is thumbs up to them, and I hope this gets to play more and we see more of this coming out, and then more of the good ones standing tall with their strengths and energy for the Athletics Federation there.
That's actually very kudos to them, because in less than 1 month all the investigations have been done, and then they've gotten to the root of it. So this is just a beautiful development of seeing, you know, rapid response to concerns like this when it comes to you know, the track and field and sports generally. So moving on now, let's talk women's football. Nigerian Women Football League, Bayelsa Queens clips Rivers Angels as FC Robo keeps momentum. Rivers Angels unbeaten start to the 2025-2026 season Nigerian Women's Football League. Premiership came the Premiership came to an end yesterday as the fellow title contenders Bayelsa Queens secured a commanding 2-0 victory in the headlining feature of Match Day 6. As the dust settled across two groups, only Bayelsa Queens, FC Robo Queens and Nasarawa Amazon remain unbeaten, underlining the growing intensity of the title race. The standout encounter in Group A took place at the Southern University Stadium of Zora, where Bayelsa Queens dominated the South-South derby against Rivers Angels. First half goals from Janet in the 26th minute and Kindness Ifeanyi Chinaza in the 33rd minute proved decisive as the Prosperity Girls ran out 2-0 winning despite being reduced to 10 men in the 75th minute. Bayelsa held firm to protect their perfect start. The victory keeps Bayelsa Queens top of Group A with 15 points, while Rivers Angels dropped to their third position with 12 points, surrounding their unbeaten record. And then moving on, next neighbors Edo Queens climbed to the second place on their superior goal difference after a comprehensive 3-0 away win to Niger Rattles in Abuja. Goals from Atom and Mary as well as Precious sealed the emphatic result. Niger Rattles remain 8th with just 2 points, still searching for their first win of the campaign. Niger Rattles have just not been on the winning spree this season. That last season we saw them contending almost for the trophy, but this time around it's looking as if there's so much more administratively that needs to be done for the Niger Rattles guys. So looking at it now, female football is coming up, and I have a lady sitting in my defensive midfield position. How would you say the Nigerian Women's League have involved? And Bayelsa Queens, they've been on a massive trend. They always drag the trophy with Edo Queens.
Well, for me, I'm really excited when I see a lot of competitiveness, a lot of changes, a lot of narrative changing for the female football, because that's one thing that I've always clamored for. Let's see how the Women Football League can grow and have a lot of competitiveness play out there. And then we've seen this playing out, particularly in this particular second stanza or this particular league for the female. Yet we've seen a different narrative played out where we used to see the first person standing tall. There's a lot of competition. It shows that administratively, tactically, the coaches are doing their best to see that they get something right with these girls, because like we saw in the AFCON, we saw where the league guys from the league were also brought in, and we saw what they brought into the AFCON. And then we're hoping, AFCON is around the corner, don't forget. Let's see, and hoping that what we're seeing in the Women League right now, maybe that will also stir up some positive change in the Women AFCON competition, which is coming as soon as possible. And then we look forward to this league management and the administrators put out the best, challenge these girls, tell them you can see them. It doesn't matter whether who was standing tall is now dragging or getting down. That's the world of football. Like I always say, get your act together. When your back is on the ground, don't leave it on the ground. Keep up, jump up. For every failure or every bend is always a lesson to learn, and then that will stand tall for the Edo Queens. Trust me, second place right now with a superior goal difference after a competitive win against Nigerian Wrestlers. It doesn't mean you are at the point. Don't forget that when you're leading at a particular goal doesn't mean that you win at that point. It's a game of 90 minutes and anything can happen. Yes, you got this, but don't forget next one will come. You miss another match, and then that's where you test your energy and test your strength and take your capacity to see if you're really giving yourself the needed competition you need to stand tall in yourself. So we say kudos to the girls, Edo Queens, and we say Bayelsa Queens, don't give up, still put up your strength, and also to the Rattles, well done, you can still do better. That's all I can say for these girls.
Well, the girls are actually improving on a daily, and we are seeing exciting matchups. They are being very, very competitive. So now the rivalry between Rivers Angels and Bayelsa Queens have been ongoing for the longest. So it's just like looking at in the football league where Abia Warriors and Enugu Rangers always clashing because it's the Southeast Derby. So this is the South-South Derby, and then it's just interesting to see that Bayelsa had the win yesterday and they are topping their Group A standards. So we'll see what would happen in other matchups that will be coming up later this weekend and next week. Football is back totally. So still talking Nigerian leagues now. Let's move to the male side where we saw Kano Pillars and Insurance Wolves win on the road. So there is something that always done almost happen before now in the Nigerian league. That's a away team winning away from home. Most of the times they get to label it based on officiating and all. Then we are saying that the officiating now is taking it's pointing towards the right direction because away teams now win away from home, and then teams at home, aside from the fact that sometimes we get to see violence, which is being taken care of as well. And again, I've been seeing the response of NFF and the bodies in charge of the Nigerian Professional Football League, the sanctions and banning of players, even in the female league. Yes, Ibom Angels will be playing, I think, their next 4 matches without fans coming in to watch them. So at the end of the day, they will know what it means to to abide to rules. But let's bring a quick the report, and then we
analyze it.
Analyze it. The second stanza of the 2025-2026 Nigerian Premier Football League season kicked off a couple of hours ago yesterday with great goals and crucial results across the country on March day 20. As Rivers United protected their leadership, Kano Pillars, Bendel Insurance, and Warri Wolves claimed the valuable away victories, while Shooting Stars extended sweet revenge in the Wabi Derby. At the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Enugu Rangers International were unable to avenge their first stanza defeat to Rivers United as both sides settled for a goalless draw. The result was enough for the pride of Rivers to consolidate their position at the top of the table with 38 points from 20 matches, maintaining a 4-point cushion. As well, Rangers meanwhile remain 6th with 30 points, having failed to capitalize on a home advantage. In Umuahia, Abia Warriors makes a golden opportunity to close the gap on the leaders, Rivers United, as they were also held to 1-1 draw by Plateau United at Umuahia Township Stadium. Emeka Obioma fired the Umudike boys ahead in the 28th minute, but Saka Gaffa had stunned the home crowd earlier with an 8-minute opener for Plateau United. Abia Warriors stay second with 34 points, while Plateau United, under new technical advisor Benga Ogumbite, remain 19th with 20 points. Rainbow Stars, on the other hand, marked their first competitive match at their permanent home in Ikenne with a narrow 1-0 victory over Ikorodu City in the Southwest Derby. Haruna Handi struck the decisive goal in the 47th minute to restore parity after Ikorodu City's first stanza win. The defending champs moved to 13th with 25 points, while Ikorodu City sits third on 32 points despite the setback. So we'll bring you the standings of what the MPFL is looking like now, what the standings is looking like. Yes, so looking at it now, Annie, you can see what the table is looking like, and also pay close attention to the points difference between, you know, the teams that are behind, and they've all played 20 games. Looking at Nigerian Professional Football League, the money now is good. We are seeing, you know, we saw a Lebanese player who came to try out for Kwara United, and is still in talks are still on. We're seeing international players coming to play in the Nigerian league, which is something we've been clamoring for the longest. So looking at the standings now, Annie, how do you think, you know, do you think the Rivers United would be able to run away with this?
Well, this is actually interesting. There's a lot of competition. If you look at the table, there are a lot to look at and ask yourself a lot of questions, and look at the match differences they played, and their points raised, the goal differences, aggregates, and all of that has played out. Look at where they had to draw and had to lose, and you know, all of this shows a lot is happening in our league, and this is what, like you said, we've been clamoring for this kind of competitiveness. And every time, like I always tell you, I like to look at grassroots. I just look at our own developments for football. Just the way we're excited when we watch the EPL, when we watch all those foreign leagues, and we're excited. I'm looking at where the narrative can also play out for the Nigerian Professional Football League, because over the years, and just like we saw in the games at the home front, it doesn't matter if you're playing the home front or if you're playing away. Officiating is moving up to standards, and look at the referees. The referees are also being prepped to stand up to standards officiating, because the referees also want to have their name spotted out in international games, and not look at, because look at it, for instance, yesterday we had Ghana officiate for Nigeria. But if we have our own referees do well at the league level, and these are also points where, don't forget that other people are also looking at our league and also looking at our officiating, just like we watch in other leagues. So this is also a good one for our league in terms of professionalism, standards, officiating, and then the leagues also, the different teams, knowing that when I go to play away, I'm not going to just get cheated. I'm going to be judged based on the professionalism that I put out on the pitch of play, and it's not just going to be because they're favoring one particular team because of the home advantage. And then another thing that got me excited is the fact that psychology is also one thing I also look at people when they play away from their home, their comfort zone. They're able to deal with the psychology of the fan base, which comes out to support the teams, and they stand tall to tell themselves it is all about the game. It's that you win or you lose, but the truth that stands out for you as a team is putting out the best of your performance on the field of play, and then you judge from that. And that's the satisfaction for me that comes with football. And that's what I've seen in this particular league. If you look at the table, it shows that in the game, 20 games played across the different football teams. Look at Rivers United. Amazing. And if you come down to Warri Wolves, despite having those differences, you know, but look at it. You know, let's also go and look at Niger Tornadoes. They've also had their own. Plateau United is also a part of it. Nasarawa United rather also have their own, even they had their differences. Look at the Abia Warriors next to Rivers United, still not letting it go no matter what it is. Look at it. They had in the last 5 matches, like they had 3 games and had 2 out of it. The same thing played out. If you look at down there a bit to Bendel Insurance, it's similar kind of. You have 4, just losing at 1. You know, so it shows that there's a lot of competitiveness. It doesn't matter if I lose a game, I still want to stand tall and go. Look at Shooting Stars. You know, 3 games as well. You know, so all of that, I like this competitiveness, hoping that 30 points for Enugu Rangers. You know, look at it. So it shows a lot of strength.
Yes, looking at it now, the strength in the Nigerian Professional Football League now is on a higher level, because the defending champions currently are not even in the top 10.
That's what I'm saying.
So because nobody is going to hand anything over to you, because they are beneath. I think they are in the second. They're from, I think, 15 or 14th currently on the MPFL standing. So it shows that these individuals are competing on a massive. Before we went on break, that's for the first stanza. When Rivers United had 3 more matches to play, they made sure they won all of those 3 matches, and then that was what took them to the top, because Abia Warriors were actually topping earlier before now. But it's just good what Finidi George is doing with them, and now they are no longer playing in CAF. They are all of their attention is focused on the Premier League. So I think they have a very good chance if they continue like this now, topping, you know, the second positions with 3 points, and if they get to win their other match and Abia Warrior gets to draw or also win, that 4-point gap will still be there. So we'll see how all of this continues, but we'll go on a very quick break. When we return back, we'll now move to Morocco. We are trying to fasten our seatbelts and then have conversations of what happened in Morocco. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
It's good to have you on Talk Sports. We're still here. An amazing time we've been having here with Samuel Odi. And you see a lot. We started the show and we're looking at how bad we felt because we're looking forward to the final of the final for Super Eagles. But that didn't play out the way it was. But let's take you before the Super Eagles match and tell you what happened between Senegal and Egypt. What an amazing match it was, because we knew it was going to be heated. We had the 4 top teams come out in the semi-finals, and a lot of prayer points. Just Nigerians, we can pray. And it's Africa football, strength, tacticality, all of those things come into play in this semi-final. It was really heated, where Senegal held on Egypt, a lot of struggle back and forth. But let's bring Samuel Odi to give us that details, and then we'll break it down fully.
Yes, looking at it was a very, very beautiful match. But Senegal yesterday, they were very, Senegal has a very good team. They have a complete team. So Senegal last night defeated Egypt to qualify for the 2025 African Cup of All Nations AFCON in Morocco. Our Nassau forward Sadio Mane scored the game's only goal of the encounter in the second half of the game. Speaking at the post-match interview after games, Mane, who won the Man of the Match award, suggested that the Tangari Lions defeated Egypt because they avoided individual error and also managed the game well. Similarly, Egypt coach Hassan admitted that Senegal progressed to the AFCON because they played well against the Pharaohs. Also, on his part, Senegal coach Pep Taiwan said his players were determined to win the match against the North Africans, and their determination showed on the pitch. And then this shows that this is 3 for Sadio Mane and 0 for Mo Salah. In what sense? World Cup qualifiers, Sadio Mane made sure that Senegal qualified for the World Cup. And then in the previous AFCON, that was 2021, Sadio Mane defeated Mo Salah in the AFCON finals and now knocking him off again in the semi-finals. Former teammates going at each other, and the scoreline now is 3-0 between Mane and Mo Salah. And the likes of Jimmy Carragher, who is an analyst, also says that if Mo Salah don't get to win any trophy, the likes of JJ Okocha also made that same conversation. They highlighted that point. They said if Mo Salah does not win AFCON for Egypt, then he might not be considered as a legend in Egypt in terms of football. So you can win whatever kind of trophy you want to win, but you have to do something. There's something
the cup for
your country. Yes, there's something Igbo people say. He said if you move around, make sure you get back home. Yes, so whatever you're doing, Mo Salah, bring a trophy back home for your people. But looking at it, you saw part of the game.
Yeah, I saw part of it. Yes. And for me, the Pharaohs they did their best. It was one thing to hold them down, hold the Senegals down. We know the Senegal's team have amazing players. They've done their best. And then if it means just bringing the cup home, yes, I get that part of the narrative where you need to lift the cup up. It shows your strength, shows your tenacity, shows your passion that you laid it down for your country.
You laid it down.
But the truth is, it is football, and he's done his part, Samuel. He's done his part. He's in short, he pushed it to the semi-finals. It's just like each time I say, when you have your thirds, the fact that this is the finish line, and then something knocks you off at this almost the finish line, it's always heartbreaking. Because trust me, for him, he's struggling with all of this because he thought he was going to lift this cup. If he got to the semi-finals, what's left? So that was one of the reasons why the strength there, he was really pushing. Former teammates going head on to themselves. That's a whole lot, because they both know their strengths, they both know their capacity on the field of play. So it was a tough decision, but it's what it is. There's nothing you can do about that.
Actually, there's literally nothing you can do. But maybe now, are we going to see Mo Salah and Sadio Mane again in AFCON? I'm not sure, based on the fact that they are both 33 years of age. And then, you know, they'll definitely start tilting. If you notice, if you watch the game, the attack most times was pushed through Mamouche and then other younger players as well. Though Salah's experience, you know, capitalized and helped them advance, you know, into the into the semi-finals. But at the end of the day, the Senegalese side, you know,
you cannot take it from them. They showed more capacity, showed more strength, showed more, what's the word now? More experience in the field of play for this AFCON. Showed, because I had a conversation with a friend and he kept saying, forget it, Senegal, get it. You know, I kept saying, just allow this is football. I like to see drama play out in the course of play. I don't like to be too predictive. Or no, to say this is what's going to happen. Yes, it's good to do your predictions. It's good to, but if you see strengths and you see experience in the field of play, all you need to do is just pay attention and see what's going to change differently when these players get to the field of play, because you can't underrate any player or any team.
Well, moving on now, you can't underrate any player and any team, and we are not set to underrate this set of people also that had a beautiful game in AFCON, not having their first loss yesterday, and the loss was the final loss for them to come back. I'm talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as Nigerian government reacts to Super Eagles' fall to Morocco. The Nigerian government, through the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, has praised the Super Eagles after their loss to Morocco in the semi-final of the African Cup of Nations. Nigeria lost to Morocco on penalties after the game ended goalless draw in regular time and extra time. Samuel Chukwueze and Bruno Onyemaechi missed their penalty kicks for Super Eagles. After the game, the Information Minister said in the statement, "Dear Super Eagles, thank you for giving your all and representing Nigeria with pride and dignity." They did represent Nigeria with pride and dignity, and we saw a very, very beautiful game played yesterday. But quickly, before we do the analysis, still talking AFCON, Chile backs Super Eagles' mentality after Morocco penalty heartbreak. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chil said Nigerians' fighting spirit remained intact despite their 2025 African Cup of All Nations semi-final exit to Morocco, while admitting his side fell short of their usual tactical standards in a painful penalty shootout defeat. Nigeria were beaten 4-2 on penalties after a tense 0-0 draw across 120 minutes in Rabat, as tournament host Morocco moved within one win of a first AFCON title nearly 50 years. Chile considered Nigerian struggles to the match intensity and technical sharpness shown in early matches, but insisted the players delivered the response he expected against the stronger Moroccan side. So he says, we missed a lot of things, the intensity, technicality and movement. Our technicality was not the same as the last match. I don't want to say we were tired, but that's not the level. He says Morocco deserved this victory, but our state of mind was good. We fight on every ball, and then we all saw that we fight on literally every ball. For everybody that actually watched the match, not for those that watched back of their television screen, for those that actually watched the match, for those that actually watched the match, the Super Eagles played very well. So I'm heartbroken.
I know. Before we talk about your heartbrokenness and all that, we have a clip where a Moroccan spoke about Super Eagles. Let's quickly take that clip, and when we play that clip, we'll bring you the narrative, what we think, because just like this, like the coach is saying, it's a nearly close to AFCON what's called winners in nearly 50 years.
Yes. And
then I wanted to listen to what this Moroccan had to say before Super Eagles went head on with their national team. Let's take that video clip now.
Okay. No, just continue. I'll provide myself, no problem. Okay. What did you just say now about Wako? I want to say something. We have a team. We have a game today with Nigeria. It's a pleasure to play with Nigeria. All Moroccan people know Nigeria. All Moroccan people know the players. If Nigeria are not going to the ESA, to the World Cup, it's World Cup losing Nigeria. Not Nigeria lose the World Cup. Wow. And that's the truth.
Why did you say so?
because Nigeria is the best team in Africa. Always Nigeria was the best team in Africa. How many AFCON you have in Nigeria? You have 5. You got how many final you lose? You lose more than 4.
Yes.
Why? Because you know the arbiter in Africa.
Yeah.
That's why Morocco he take only 1.
So what are you saying today? Today's match?
Today, listen, I'm from Morocco. Honestly, I support my team.
Yes.
I support my team.
Yes.
But if Morocco win 1 or 2-0, I will be very happy because it's very hard to score more than 1 goal for Nigeria. It's very hard. I know football.
Thank you.
I know football, and that's the truth. That's not the truth.
Thank you.
Save this video.
I really wanted you to have a feel of that, because when I saw that, I just knew that this is passion speaking. This is a Moroccan who knows the value and the strength of the Super Eagles, the Nigerian side. Nigerian side has been one strong team you cannot just play with. You saw his passion when he said it is very difficult to score more than 1 or 1 against the Nigerian team. That he's a Moroccan and he's hoping that they get. But look at what played out yesterday for the Super Eagles and the Moroccan team. Nigerians team held those guys back to back, 120 minutes of play, showing that we do it here, we die here. If there's a word like that, it's not going to happen. We're not conceding in this particular semi-finals, and that was the strength and the tenacity I saw in our national team. And I say kudos to them. We might not get what we're looking for, but trust me, boys, you did amazingly well, because the fear you put out. Look at the crowd. Did you see the massive turnout of people at that Rabat Stadium yesterday? It was really intense. It was really massive. For me, I was telling Samuel there, I said, Samuel, tell me, because at some point Samuel was chatting me up. He said, I cannot see the supporters team of Nigeria. Where are they? What's happening? These boys are doing so well, but I cannot see the fans. Are they not supporting the team anymore? They need to cheer this guy's spirits up because they're doing an amazing. And I said, relax. It is home advantage that is playing out for the Moroccan. Check out the stadium, for heaven's sake. The crowd, they came out mass. They wanted to play a lot of psychology on Nigerians. The Super Eagles team not even think of it, because one, we're hosting you, man. Wow. And you know the interesting thing about colleagues of ours who are there in Morocco were talking to us about this, and they said, oh, you need to see the turnout. They came to intimidate us, but we're here. We stand gidigba as Nigerians that we are, and that was what played out, because it was that's our colleague taking a walk around the stadium and saying, are you saying this? And I was saying somewhere, I said, trust me, I love our boys, because that psychology did not play out on them. Yes, we had our challenges at the shootout points, and that's where the heartbreak came. And Samuel, you know.
Yes, basically, like, the boys were very excellent yesterday. Yes. Stanley Nwabali, Chukwueze, no, not Chukwueze, actually. Not Chukwueze.
No, but Calvin Bassey.
But Calvin Bassey. Amazing. Like, every other person, they were good. Ademola Lookman, Alex Iwobi, you know, Frank Onyedika, Raphael Onyedika too. At some, he was good. We missed Ndidi. Yes, if Ndidi was around, it would have been
so
a different ball game.
Was also good.
Yes, Osai, he was also good. So these guys were very exceptional.
Akko at some points.
You know, Akko too was good, you know, but still, the referee, the officiating also played its own role in what made the match turn out the way it did. You know, I couldn't even, I needed a clear explanation on how a team will have 13 fouls, and then a team that has just 2 fouls have a yellow card, and the team having 13 fouls does not have even a warning, not alone a card. So looking at all those angles now, I think NFF should also do the same thing that the Algerians are doing by petitioning, because I really did not understand what the Ghanaian guy and the South African guy did on the line. So it's just a whole lot for the entire Super Eagles yesterday. It was a whole lot. It was a whole downplay.
Like I was telling the fans, I said, please don't add torture to what they're going through right now, because these boys have played very well from the start of the tournament to this particular point. So you can imagine how they feel themselves. So don't even do this to them. So you need to give them an applause. Trust me, yes, the officiating had its own side, but Samuel, don't forget that host nation would always have that advantage.
But hold on, are we playing football for a better team to win, or
about that, but I'm just saying,
a host nation to
I'm just saying that has always played out
Yeah, we've seen that. We saw that in Ivory Coast. Now we are almost going to witness the same thing in Morocco. But now, is this what football is turning into? Is it going to the highest bidder?
But it shouldn't actually be about the highest bidder. It should be about professionalism. It should be about what plays on the field of play. And that's why I'm really clapping for the boys, because despite all what played out, what Nigerians saw that wouldn't have played out if the officiating referee had his head put, I don't know what word to use for him right now, but the truth is he had his own size. Little things he did also made the boys feel really what's going on, you know. But that's it. But another thing is, let's keep our heads straight. This is gone past. Like, this is not what we wanted, but what we have, can we just pay attention to it? Let's look at the third place. Let's look at the Pharaohs, who we're going to be playing against on Saturday, and see how we can put our thoughts together. At all. Let's get something home.
Well, that would be like the redemption, you know. Though advancing or winning this trophy was what we really wanted. But let's just see how all of this will pan out, playing the Pharaohs of Egypt, you know, on Saturday, and that's just what we'll be expecting. But technically and basically, you know, the officiating was not just state, but no, like I can't just let that go, because that was horrible. At some point, the commentators were even confused. They were asking questions like, "What's going on?"
At some point, I saw the fouls, and I'm like, "Why are you calling fouls?"
Can you imagine the referee will stop a game, and then the players don't even know what is stopping the game for?
At some point, he will say, "Play on," and you know, what's his name? Akko at some point was asking him, "Are you giving us foul? Did you see the last one that just happened?" You know, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is getting to the players." But
they would have, they stayed cool. I know the same thing happened previously, but I still see them. They were able to stay cool and then, you know, play despite everything. You know, they showed class and the fact that they are professionals.
And all that.
Yes, we wanted a different result, but
we got what we
want. But Samuel Chukwu is we'll have to aside.
I know the fact that that's your namesake, and so maybe you guys will have a way of having that pep talk and pep talk wherever it is, because Nigerians have actually cried out to the lackadaisical attitude in which Samuel Chukwueze played that penalty shootout, because he was brought in specifically for that purpose. You were not in the game for the last 120 minutes. Call it 120 minutes for you, because you came in a few minutes at the extra time.
I think around 2 minutes to the end of the
game. And then so I'm wondering, what were you thinking? Did you see where he was chewing that gum? In my mind, I'm like, can this guy just concentrate and give Nigeria?
And we had the advantage.
We had the advantage.
And it is what it is. It's football.
You know, let's be that's a player. Let's not get him to also have his own.
Well, let's not drag him. You know, there's no need dragging him. But nice one. We saw the impact he did with Tunisian game as well, where he was featured. He did his own part when he could, but when we needed you, you weren't there. But it's all good. There'll be other opportunities for him to make, you know, Nigerian proud and rewrite this wrong. But now let's bring you the highlights quickly of the game that we saw yesterday between Senegal and Egypt, and then we'll follow that suit immediately with that of the Super Eagles and Morocco. Despite the fact we didn't get the result, we'll still have to bring you the highlights.